Yes, it is. They make their voice. They make a name for themselves. They put all of that on the spotlight right here and right now. Again, one more best of 5 for the day on the E-League stream as one of these two teams is going to punch their ticket into stage 2.
Keep your eyes on a baguette and a half. Look at iRiser. He's the Frenchman, and Blurry. He's the half baguette. They've combined for 25 of the 31 goals that 2baguettes and a half have scored all day. Here's iRiser. Run one to the corner. Intercepted by Salen. This goes underneath. Boom is going to lurk around at midfield. He can intercept this. Both teams just kind of throwing jabs right now in the early stages.
What a battle between these two teams, Stacks. That is going to ensue. They have one thing in common. They've taken down Team Dignitas. Something that is just a huge back-to-back upset. But now they've brought themselves into this situation. And we're going to see if all that hard work paid off. I got my chance to watch S2V, a team that can really out-pressure you if you're not ready on defense, if you're not set to go. Meanwhile, 2baguettes and a half, they've definitely had an interesting run on their end as well. Not to be taken lightly, as this one is getting started off. We see S2V with more of that offensive pressure, keeping this ball on the baguettes' end.
Has been fun over the past couple of seasons of the rival series watching France and Spain clash. And we're seeing that here in this final match. It's an open net. Boom hasn't put it through yet, and this time he will.
There it is again. Pressure here that S2V are known for. A double commit comes out for 2baguettes, and they try to get a save, but boom, under the ball, and the save not being as quality as they need it to be, and S2V have their first goal.
It took nearly 2 minutes, but S2V in front. DK Salen can't get anything going here, so Blurry can try and boom this away, but he's got to follow it up himself. That still goes through. Could be trouble. iRiser with the demo and his 13th goal.
And off the assist from Blurry as well. Speed on the touch. And like you said, a great demo from iRiser. Easy follow-up and finish. They strike back very quickly.
All that work from S2V to take the lead, and it's been erased very quickly. Prime out for Blurry. He's got to get up in a hurry. He has, but Boom is right there on the backboard. This will go right to Riser and across for Rubix. He's got all day to play this ball. Look at how far Prime jumped from, as VK Salen couldn't get the redirect. Rubix is denied as well. And now here comes the counterattack from 2baguettes and a half. It is cut off at midfield, though. That is a great job defensively by S2V. VK Salen just swarming around the net, where he's been for a lot of the afternoon.
Wow.
Demo again, and Salen gives them the lead again.
These teams are exploding on the front line, Stacks, and you're seeing the result. Boom with the demo off the touch from Salen. That touch isn't even guaranteed to go through, but the commitment from S2V on the play paid off big time.
Couple open nets. Blurry can't follow this play up, but Prime will. Blurry interferes with Rubix. I think they both were trying to take each other out and just collided at midfield, but of no consequences. Hasn't really created any opportunities. Blurry got easily saved away. Salen is right there, but Blurry keeps us in the zone. We've seen some lengthy sustained attacks here in the first 3 minutes on either side. That's a great job by Blurry, juking out Boom as he was going downfield for a demo.
Great effort here. You can see 2baguettes trying to get back into this one. A lot of pressure, getting in front. These small touches throw off S2V in their way of transitioning downfield. Still, though, no striking offensive chance coming out from 2baguettes just yet. That one, a close chance and close opportunity, but Boom able to save things out. S2V are holding on to their offensive pressure. They recognize that they've given up a goal very easily, and that equalizer put them in a tough spot. They're not going to be so easily willing to give up space to 2baguettes.
Prime has Blurry on the weak side. Here's Riser coming up for more. And Rubix makes a big save to get that out to the corner. This is not great from Rubix. It gives the ball right back up to Blurry. Now Riser, dropped down, is just off the mark and cleared away.
Watch the turnaround here, though. Salen, last back, trying to pass it out, but the pressure is still here. Again, clock ticking as well. Final 30 seconds here. Need a play here as Prime tries to push this one downfield.
Rare to see S2V with boost here in the last couple of minutes. They have not had much. There's another demo in the net. Riser looking to tie the game, and Boom cuts him off. Back out for Blurry. Nobody could challenge it, so they have to block the shot. Follow-up again is denied as Riser turned away by Boom yet again.
Now with the final seconds counting down, at this point they got to keep it up, but here's the pressure from S2V. They say they're done. A last-second touch does not matter. S2V Esports will take this game 1.
It felt like 2baguettes should have taken, or felt like they did win the second half of that game. But 2 big goals from Boom and Salen, just too much to overcome. They couldn't get that last strike that they needed. Big credit to Boom there. Sure, bottom of the leaderboard, but he maybe had the biggest impact out of anybody on the field with 2 critical saves or blocks way out in front in the final minute.
Yeah, Boom was really in front of a lot of things offensively wise. Definitely got some good shot, the good goal too early on. And now we're seeing S2V. I mean, they played really good defense after being just pressured by 2.5 baguettes. Baguettes on their end have to follow through and create these really close opportunities, get more in front. They have some demo plays. If S2V are going all in on demo plays and scoring from it, you need to be able to match that pace in order to keep up with them in this series.
Prime looking for Riser, didn't find him as BK Salen is right there. Now Blurry, he's quickly off the wall trying to bounce one by. Boom should have this, so he does get nudged from behind. So now Prime for Riser for the lead early in game 2, but denied again by the defense of S2V, and it's Boom playing a huge role both in the net and even coming out in front to try and bump people away. He has made his presence felt all series long. And what happened there? Prime turned off of this. I think he should have been the one to go for it.
Yeah, you see Blurry playing that to the left, looking for boost, just none in the tank, and trying to use that last boost he had to get a piece of the ball. But at that point, the shot already came through from Rubix. He gets on the board here for S2V, and they're off to a similar start as in game 1 with the lead.
Blurry calls off Riser, calls his own number, but his flip reset shot sent away. Here goes Salen now, looking for more for S2V. This is dropped down in front of the net, but Salen couldn't get there in time. Prime could turn on this, but he's going to be beaten by Salen, so he has to retreat. Got a full tank of boost, but he needs to get the ball out as well, and he just barely got a piece of that. And then the shot is right on the money from Rubix, and Riser makes an incredible save.
Great save from Riser, but the pressure is not done. Look at Boom. That's 2. Open look. Yep. That's going to be Rubix. Second goal for him. Second goal for S2V.
It is indeed. S2V, they have had the benefit of a couple of open nets so far in this final series. And look, I know the game's going to be free in a couple of weeks or so, but doesn't mean the goals have to be as well. Need to see better defense here from 2baguettes with their tournament on the line.
You look at this S2V squad, this is exactly how they took down Team Dignitas. Just that consistent offensive pressure, getting in their face. And 2baguettes. Too much commitment there on the defensive end. A double commit, someone needs to get a solid clear on that as well. They cannot afford to be giving up so much. Oh, boom!
What a shot here.
Look at this, VK Salen. First off, the clear is great. Boom, the touch. Riser had no idea where it was going. By the time he was able to react, it was a done deal. So S2V at this point are heating up here. We still have 3 minutes left.
There is still time for 2baguettes and have to get back into this game, but they've got to score sooner rather than later. High Riser throws one up there for Prime. Doesn't have a lot of boost to play with and just can't get anything forward. Now Blurry. Blocked out by Salen. Another good clear from the defense of S2V, and that's all this squad has to do. Just keep throwing the ball downfield, repel 2baguettes in half, make them spend a ton of boost to get back to the ball quickly. Only one defender back this time. It's Prime who makes the save. But to what end? Rubik's and company are just going to come right back downfield, though. That double commit may open up an opportunity here for the Baguettes.
Looks like they're having a tough time getting things under control. So this one will have a little bit more time given to S2V in terms of getting their defense together. And now they try to transition. Pass play still connecting. Can't say the same for 2baguettes and a half, as they have yet to really have any threatening offense. Only one shot to their name this game, Stacks, and that is not a good sign going into the rest of this game and also the rest of the series.
Flurry couldn't find the angle. It was a tough one to find with his momentum taking him further away to the corner. And now Riser all the way back, and he's misplayed this off the back wall. And S2V are just waiting for him to give possession back to them. That's exactly what's happened. Hard off the corner. There's VK Salen blocked away. Now Rubik's. He'll try to center. Salen was looking for a demo. There was nobody to blow up. Now Riser, one-on-one if he can get around Salen, but Salen's pressure forced him to get rid of the ball, and VK Salen can pop this up. Rubik's in trouble on the back wall, so Salen has to come back. He makes another stop. The S2V, they are a little rattled here on the defensive end, but Prime turns off of this, and I think there's just a lack of confidence here and a lack of trust from Prime, and that indecisiveness is really hurting the Baguettes at the moment.
Yeah, you know, he tries to go for a fake challenge here, trying to see if he can bring out some more members of S2V, but at the same time, he is sacrificing a lot of pressure. And that's something at this point in the game, you're down by 3, it's a minute left, you need to send the house. That's just not working. Transition goal will fall. That'll be another one for Boom as he picks up his second, but the fourth for S2V, as, I mean, this game is all in their hands, Stacks.
And boom goes the dynamite. 51 seconds left. We'll play it out as little more than a formality unless 2baguettes and a half can scramble something together off of this kickoff. It is going their way with Prime throwing it at the backboard, and excellent defending by VK Salen, not only getting the ball out of the zone, but to a teammate. And that is just about going to do it. One more chance, as that has to be swept away off the goal line. The only question now is, what will the final scoreline be for S2V? As they've been scoring at will here, and even that going way back to their own end. I mean, they're just not letting any blue cars touch the ball at the moment.
Yeah, it's just been all them, all game long. 2baguettes and a half only have 2 shots. And this clock is ticking down. S2V have just, the confidence is so clear here with the way that they play, with how they're moving upfield. They're not afraid to go all in on plays, and it works in their favor. They take this game too.
This is looking eerily similar to the final series we had yesterday in Group A, where Magnifico had just dominated the first couple of games. A little less so the second game, but they were large and in charge all throughout. And then Game 3 came along, and all of a sudden things changed, and it led to an 8-minute overtime. Just knock on wood, we don't go that far here in Game 3, but 2.5 Baguettes, they are out of time here. It is put up or shut up time with their tournament life at stake.
We need the third baguette at this point.
Yeah, that was the question posed on Twitter. What would happen if they just had 1/2 more of a baguette? Well, it wouldn't be 0-2 getting dominated by S2V, one would imagine. But there is 5 minutes left, perhaps, in this series. Utopia Coliseum. Last chance for 2.5 Baguettes to get anything going, to save their tournament, go on into stage 2. It is iRiser who scores here, and I think that is the first lead for this team all series.
Yeah, and the first goal they've scored, too, in a while. Keep in mind, shutout from the last game. iRiser starting things off on the right foot for 2.5 baguettes. But they need to keep up this energy. It's just a kickoff goal.
Flurry, good read, but he can't get that ball over to iRiser, so Prime has to go up and clear from the backboard. Riser going downfield, but there is Salen. Needs one more touch, doesn't have it. And look at the quick counterattack now from the Baguettes. Playing with a lot more confidence in the lead. Bang, bang.
And you saw this coming as soon as the ball left Blurry's hand. iRiser, the great first touch. And the double. Taking that energy and putting it into play. Now, this 2.5 baguette squad are looking a lot better here, Stacks.
BK Salen comes up empty, leads to perhaps another counterattack, but that is not the touch that Prime was looking for. Now look out, Rubik's coming on, trying to jam this up in front, and iRiser has to sweep it away to the corner. BK Salen has enough boost to challenge this. Flurry didn't get it out of the zone. Rubik's shot sails well wide, and looks like the Baguettes are going to get off the hook here, but Flurry doesn't have any boost to go downfield, so Prime needs another clear. And this should be iRiser's ball all the way to the corner. It is. And the Baguettes can kind of breathe a sigh of relief for a moment as they reset.
Like you said, resetting, big point here. Trying to make sure they keep up the pace against this S2V squad. We know how much offense they can come out with. So the fact that they're being able to match them in midfield is great. But you also talked about them kind of not having boost here a little bit. That might come back to haunt them if S2V can get set up on the offensive end. We know they can choke out this 2baguette squad team if they have a decent amount of pressure here. So they have to be keeping their eyes on the boost meter as they move forward.
iRiser jumps in front of Bluey and brought that all the way across the field, but he burned a ton of boost in the process. So now Prime, he has to keep this in the zone, but didn't find a teammate. And again, every time you fail to find a teammate with any ball downfield, you can just expect it's going to go right back across the center line whence it came. That's a great block by Blurry. It lets Prime come up and challenge, but he's going to wait, and wisely so. iRiser comes up empty, as did BK Salen until the ball came to the ground. Now Salen's shot, tough angle, on target, but Prime had the save.
This stop two there. That pinch almost works in favor too, but S2V are trying to play that back in. Look at the aggressive touch though from iRiser to play it into the corner. That's how 2baguettes are adapting to this S2V squad. They've been able to do a great job of just having these wild, aggressive challenges, but in reality, their pass plays to and from the team. You see one now, almost works out. Backflip, Blurry, take the shot. It's just blocked.
And then Salen back the other way. Prime is going to have to guide this to the corner and slow down considerably. But you can see a little hesitation there between Prime and iRiser. I think they were discussing who's going to take the boost. Riser took it to set up this play that's denied by Rubik's.
That demo's going to buy him a lot of time. Blurry picks it up. iRiser's trying to play that right side. Look at the cut. Is that in? Rubik's denies it. But man, oh man, is iRiser lighting things up for this team here in this game. If there's any time that you want to turn the Jets on, it's now.
This is not the same team we watched in the first 10 minutes of this final series. Now Rubik's got just off the mark, collected by Blurry. And it will be Salen back towards Boom. And I mean, that's the guy you got to feed right now if you're S2V. If you want to get back in this game, he has had the hot hand. He has done a lot on both ends of the field for S2V. Rubik's trying to set him up here, but that goes all the way to the corner. But he does fall on that to stop Blurry from clearing. That's not a great clear, as Boom can come up. That's going to be cleared away yet again. And that was the best opportunity for S2V to get back in this.
So now S2V, I can't say the script has completely flipped here. They have had some quality offensive chances. But the defense here from 2baguettes has just been so much better. All in all, they've been all over the field. And look at that, Blurry will pick up the third. And 3-0 with 36 seconds left as 2baguettes are still fighting.
Fighting and now looking for a reverse sweep as they can start looking ahead to game 4. You gotta take these one game at a time. Step 1 is just about complete. iRiser for Blurry? No, and Prime thought about coming up and realized, hey, wait a minute, we don't need any more goals. They can all just float back, play a little defense, ride this out. One more stop needed. It is made by iRiser. He can clear this out of the zone and put things to rest in game 3. It will not be a sweep like we had in the final series yesterday, nor will there be an 8-minute overtime in game 3. VK Salen can't avoid the shutout, and 2.5 baguettes are right back in it.
Looking ahead at this next game where S2V come out with a 4-0 win and they concede 3 goals in this game, and they're unable to score after putting on 6 shots of their own. Again, outshot 6-11. You know, this one is really going to be about adaptation. Can S2V adapt to how 2baguettes have adapted? Because they've just, again, really shown up, especially iRiser. Is this standout performance for him only done over the course of one game, or can they carry this into Manfield Night?
Stark contrast to the previous game for 2baguettes. 11 shots there. What do they have? Something like 2 or 3 or maybe 4 in the previous game where they were just shut out and just beaten pillar to post to the tune of 4-0. Now we go to game 4. The pressure starts to shift just a little bit. It's all well and good that S2V got the first couple of wins in this series, but they haven't got the one they need to push them on to next Saturday. Up top for Blurry, got a piece of Boom up top. And so Rubik just has to throw this all the way across, and that's a good ball out to Rubik. It allows him to go downfield, but Prime is there to intercept, and that disruption was just enough, as so much has been in this series from 2.5 baguettes. Another chance here,
Whoa.
And that's denied by Prime again, just barely.
You know, instead of making small adaptations, playing things slow, both of these teams have decided to fight fire with fire stacks. 2baguettes said, we see how fast you're playing S2V, and we're trying to match that. And it's showing in their play. It is showing just by how often they are on top of the ball. They're being aggressive with the challenges on the demos. And now S2V are trying to do the same. A minute of gameplay has gone by, plenty of bumps and demos going through these two teams' side. But still no one with control here.
You're looking for a player to play the role of virtuoso in this series. It's Blurry, averaging over a demo and a half per game. That's one of the leaders in the region, by the way. It has been kind of a tame regional here on the Group B side. Except, of course, for Virtuoso. He averages 4.2 demos a game, and next guy behind him is less than 2. That's just typical endpoint.
It is, it indeed is typical endpoint. As they are still playing on, I believe. I'm not sure. Looking at this one though, like you said, that demo play, huge in terms of eliminating pressure, but also building momentum if you're playing through the other side of the pitch. One of these teams is really gonna have to utilize that into their play. We see a couple of them as these teams are trading, but this match, this game is so tight. I believe this is the longest we've gone in this series without a goal, Stacks.
Yeah, Endpoint is about to make their way into stage 2. They are killing Singularity in game 3, about to sweep that, as this one still so much to be decided. Blurry trying to get in VK Salen's way. Downfield goes Rubik, and Prime is going to have his hands full. That was wide, and very fortunately so, because Prime was not going to beat it to the back wall. Now iRiser.
Such a scary touch, too, for Prime as well. I mean, the fact that he's able to pinch that behind him in terms of putting it in front of the box, huge for that team. He had 2 people from S2V right on top of him. So still keeping the team alive It might look like small touches, but they make a big deal. That one is going to be cut out, almost going in for Rubik's, but just not enough yet for anybody to get a goal on the board.
iRiser intercepted by VK Salem, and now Prime, but he just got sandwiched by Rubik's and Boom. Now Rubik's trying to center for Boom, and that's a great job by Blurry to cut him off. Now Prime repays the favor. Blurry can't get this ball central, but Prime perhaps can. iRiser following in behind him. Got the pass off to nobody in particular as VK Salem had intercepted. There was nobody over there for 2baguettes, and that's the kind of ball that has, I think, plagued 2baguettes in the first half of the series.
Yeah, that clean opportunity for a pass play, but like you said, no one home, as iRiser just had to buy his team some time, I guess, with that one. But still, you see a chance here. There's some speed. Where's the follow-up? It's Blurry. Off the backboard, tries to get a read. VK Salem says no. S2V stopped them as they try to transition downfield.
Yeah, Boom was a dead man walking in the net. He was just sitting there. He had backed off, and he was just hoping that any shot that came in was off target. And thanks to VK Salem, it was. Now it is Prime who finally breaks through for 2baguettes in the last minute.
Off the turn from iRiser, you think he has another touch, but Prime says, I'm not waiting on you to catch up to that ball to play the challenge. He gets there. The speed to get past that last defender is huge for 2baguettes.
He had been so quiet throughout the series, and that shot really came out of nowhere. iRiser throws this off to the side. Prime a little slow to follow up, but he will have this clear. Not quite out of the zone, but Blurry does finish the job. 20 seconds remain. iRiser getting on his horse to chase this one down. He'll go to the ceiling, try to finish it off. No, it is off the backboard. Now Blurry again. Looking for a demo, didn't get one, but he slowed down Boom just enough with now 5 seconds left. As S2V has to go the length of the field, they will not, as Prime adds his second, securing victory in Game 4.
That is gonna push us into Game 5 territory, Stacks. What a turnaround here for 2baguettes. They've been able to stave off S2V, as again, they have not been able to score, and we are going to a Game 5.
Boy, are we now. This is what I like out of a team like 2baguettes. It's great if you don't want to get swept, you want to win the third game just to force a fourth game, but if you're going to do that, you might as well go ahead and just come back and win the series. Otherwise, you've just wasted everybody's time. I love what we're seeing now out of 2.5baguettes. They had one last chance to turn things around in Game 3. They took full advantage of that, and now they have outscored S2V 5-0 over the last 10 minutes.
This is what you want in your last game of the day. Two teams who have been fighting back and forth, dominating victories, but it all comes down to one moment, one game. As we get ready and we get Game 5 loaded up, nothing else matters here except making stage 2 to these two teams. And we're gonna see what they all have on the field.
It has just been a string of 5-0 runs. It was S2V had scored 5 unanswered in the first couple of games. Favor paid back by 2.5baguettes. iRiser, boy, he's had a ton of confidence now over the last 5 minutes, and he continues to pressure this S2V squad, as does Prime. Riser will throw this off to the corner. He will be without Prime for a moment, but S2V will be without Rubik's. Blurry trying to follow this up, and just look at the pressure from the Baguettes. Again, a completely different squad as Riser almost forced that through.
Love the pass plays between 2baguettes. They've been able to set up some really creative opportunities. They're stretching the defense of S2V, and this is not a good sign for them to start this off. A clear, Prime, no, he let it go. iRiser doesn't get the touch. That might come back to haunt them. That was a clear opportunity for them to take a goal.
That was one of the first training packs ever released, just cherry picking downfield. You've got to have that redirect. Oh, that is costly, or could be, for the Baguettes. VK Salem now almost looked like he was trying to get Rubik's to pinch that with him. And now Boom's shot is saved right at the goal line by Prime. Watch the counterattack now. Blurry weaving through, and he got demoed by Rubik's, and that allowed Salen to make the clear. Though that's a dangerous ball across the face of the goal.
There's still pressure coming out from 2baguettes, but do not count S2V out just yet. A great shot chance you saw from Boom. A lot of speed. They are not taking any opportunities for granted here. So although you see 2baguettes have pressure, if they can't convert on their chances, it takes one counterattack. A great save from Rubik's to eliminate the pressure. It's still in play. Riser puts this out in midfield, but it's a pass in transition, and it'll be on their end.
He wanted to find Blurry, just didn't have enough on it, and good thing Blurry stayed back so he could make that stop and now try to propel the baguettes downfield. Now Boom back the other way. Oh, what a save again! This time by iRiser.
Huge save from both sides. Now offense trying to go the other way here for 2baguettes. They have to stop and try to keep this in. You see Blurry off of the boost. Does he have the dunk? No. Prime tries to keep this in, but it goes by the wayside. It might be the perfect ball for iRiser. Look at all of this pressure. Not even for a moment is there any peace on this field. Again, fire and fire from both of these teams as they all want to move on to stage 2. Still no goal. Shot blocked from Rubik's. Prime can't keep it in, but that was a clear opportunity again for 2baguettes.
How many more lives does S2V have? They have been scoreless now for, I think, running up on, what, about 13, 14 minutes here? This is insane. And they have almost given up the lead here at least 3 times. Prime makes a save, scrambling back. Floated up for VK. Salen, and Blurry beats him to the punch. Prime's got to go after this. Instead, Blurry will call him off. iRiser up the ladder. And he will meet with Rubik's. Boom is here for that, but there is Prime again.
Look at this. Every time someone gets a touch, there's always someone in position waiting for an opportunity. This clear gives S2V a lot of space. And look, they're trying to take advantage of it as well. Space and time. Huge for these two teams. Can't afford to make mistakes like the double commit we just saw. But Prime still able to keep composure. We're coming down to the final minute of gameplay here, Stacks. Each team failing to give an inch, but Boom! He finds his way through! S2V take the lead!
They got a bump in midfield on Rubik's, and he still found a way to power through and set that ball up for Boom. I thought after they had bumped Rubik's that play was going to be dead. Boom stuck with it, and S2V ends a stretch of nearly 14 minutes without a goal.
Huge for them at this moment, but it's not over yet for 2baguettes. They still have a minute left. Now, if anything, is the time for them to finally get those offensive plays going. They've been so close over the course of this game. The net's been almost given to them, but they still haven't been able to put it through. iRiser tries to look for a play. Blurry wants to keep it in, but that's a clear touch for Boom. He's got to be careful with what he does here.
I think Riser's got to get that pass out. He had Prime waiting and instead opted to try and barrel his way through. Now Prime, he'll try and get this ball centered. VK Salen collides with Boom. This is a chance now. iRiser to tie, and Rubik's has the save. Now Boom looking to make amends, trying to deliver the final nail in the coffin. He cannot yet, as there's another save by Blurry. Oh, 2baguettes have got to get downfield here with 15 seconds. Blurry has this pocket picked by VK Salen, and they're just disjointed on their way downfield, and that's gonna do it. VK Salen might have just put S2V into day 2.
By himself, sees the ball in the midfield. Great challenge, great pickup, great read of the defense. VK Salen gives him the insurance goal with 9 seconds left. They were on a drought, but they finally have woken up at the right time, trying to run out the clock, and oh boy, do they. Congrats to S2V, because they are punching their way into stage 2.
It was not always pretty. They looked like a team that was very clearly the better team on the field for the first 10 minutes. And after that, 2baguettes. Give them a ton of credit. They came back and gave S2V all they could ask for and then some. But it just wasn't enough. S2V, just like the Baguettes, they had one last chance to turn it all around, And they did.
Yeah, and boy, did they as well. You got to go back to that touch that gives him the goal from Boom as well. I mean, he just barely squeaks past. It's as if he's like trying to go through lasers where the defense is all over that net. And again, just finding that mark is all they needed. And of course, the open look that 2.5baguettes had came back to bite them in the end. That touch should have come through. It's those moments that you start to think about at the end of the day. But boy, oh boy, that those two teams really give it their all this series.
We have sent, over the course of this weekend, 15 teams through into the second stage. There is only one spot remaining to be decided between Top Blokes and, somebody. Just throwing it out there, All right. So, we will send things back to our good friends F. Spaceman and Supersonic. I say friends. They're more acquaintances, but we'll send it back to them. They'll have your final thoughts as we wrap up what has been a crazy weekend here in Europe.